They're one of them. They're one. I know you asked.
Are they?
Are they? I get it. But they're not there yet.
Okay.
We're not getting ready to just get rid of San Francisco, I hope. And we're not getting ready to just get rid of Minnesota, who's 4-0, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or even the New Orleans Saints. Like, we can't just all of a sudden just dismiss some of these teams that were in the playoffs a year ago, just like Detroit. Although Detroit went to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
It's fine. And Jared Goff in this system one more year with Dan Campbell and company has shown that he belongs in that conversation about them being the team to beat in the NFC. But you still, look, the 49ers, whatever little help is coming, okay, and it's still the 49ers. Minnesota is playing tremendous offense and obviously excellent defense under Brian Flores. I think Green Bay jumped the gun, in my opinion, on bringing in Jordan Love instead of letting him just sit one more week. You could have let him sit because it kind of, I don't know if it messed up the chemistry, but you could tell he wasn't as sharp as before.
Yeah.
Because they had the Rams next. So you could have waited a little bit for that. But I think they're right there, though. I like that they're right there.
I'm not going to dance around this. I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment. But the team to beat in the NFC will be Minnesota. I mean, they're 4-0. They're being pretty impressive. Right now, you can argue that Sam Darnold is the MVP. Detroit has already lost to Tampa. Tampa, they're 3-1 now. They're about to go through their gauntlet. Atlanta, New Orleans, Baltimore. Detroit, they had problems with Seattle. I don't know, because they just marched down the field, first down, first down, first down. I'm not ready to give them that. I love what Goff did, though. He did what you were supposed to do. He went out there and had a historic game, played well, prime time. I love what I saw, but I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment, because right now it's the Minnesota Vikings. Because I look at their schedule coming up. They got the Jets, who,
Where is that game at?
I think that's in London.
Oh.
You got at the Rams, Indy, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and you already 4-0.
Yeah, they set up.
They set up to win the NFC.
They set up to do some
good
stuff.
So I'm going to give it to Minnesota right now, but Dallas is in the mix. They will be in the mix, but if I was a betting man, I would bet today, Minnesota wins the NFC.
I thought this is Paul's picks.
This is part of Paul's picks. Hey, Paul's picks.
I'm going to do 3-1.
I'm 4-0.
He's 4-0.
Oh,
are you?
4-0.
Yep.
4-0.
I think that I agree with Key. I think both conferences have 3 to 4 teams that could through any given week, through the beginning of the season, be at the top. We're going to get to your big list later in the show, but the Lions should be one of the teams to be in the NFC. We expected big things from them coming into the season. That was a really nice win from them last night, but I can't ignore what the Vikings are doing. Undefeated, they have really nice wins. The Bucs look really good. The Lions lost to the Bucs. You've got Washington playing really well. So I'm not just going to completely ignore what everyone else is doing. It's really early in the season, and I think this was a great win. Also, Seattle was undefeated coming into this game as well. So really nice night for Detroit. I think they're up there at the top of the NFC. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Are they the team to beat? I don't really know that there is a team to beat in the NFL right now. And then you're talking about that with the Chiefs being undefeated and the Vikings being undefeated. I just don't think we have really shaped exactly what all these teams are going to look like at the end of the season yet to say they're a team to beat.
Here's what I would cop to, Joy, about last night's game. The Detroit Lions, just based on last night's game, so far, out of all the teams in the NFC, that game just looked the best about what they did on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did against a 3-0 Seattle team. They just, Jared Goff and just the Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameis Williamson got involved now. I mean, it just looked like
a complete game.
A complete team.
Yeah, but look, who have they played this year? Let's be honest, Key. They beat
who? Detroit? They beat the Rams week 1. They lost to the Bucs,
Tampa,
beat the Cardinals, and beat Seattle.
In Seattle.
But you like the Cardinals.
I mean, the Cards are turning out to be not what I thought they were.
Really?
And then when I look at Minnesota, big win versus the Niners. Giants, we ain't going to go there. Houston. They beat Houston.
Beat them
and
down.
then at Green Bay.
Yeah,
They
got better wins. They got better wins in Detroit.
So, you know, it just, I feel like since you're getting wins like that early, they only going to get better as the season goes along and their schedule. So when I look at this, I look at the schedule coming up because Lions, you got Dallas. I don't know. They could probably, Dallas, they thirsty. Dallas, I don't know. They got Minnesota. They got some teams that they going to be in some dogfights with. Whereas Minnesota, I feel like, they got a pretty good schedule.
We'll get to see Detroit and Minnesota coming up, so that might be the game that determines who is the team to beat in the NFC. Dan Campbell was asked what he thought of Jared Goff's 18 for 18 performance, and Campbell admitted that he didn't realize just how perfect Goff was.
He played perfect, right? And they still was in a dogfight.
You
know what I'm saying?
In the end, it got a little.
It got close.
Interesting in the end.
It did. That's what I'm saying.
Interesting in the end.
I don't know. I would describe that as a.
I mean, it got interesting at the end.
Yeah, he was 18 for 18. First perfect game since Kurt Warner went 10 for 10 in 2005. 292 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown.
That was nice.
And he was sacked 3 times for 26 yards. But does Jared Goff deserve more respect, Key?
Yeah, he deserves more respect. I've always, you know, it's interesting about these quarterbacks or players in general, but I've always given Jared Goff his respect coming from Cal. Watching him out on the West Coast playing college and then being drafted by the Rams when they traded up to get him. And it just didn't go well with Jeff Fisher, but Jeff Fisher's tenure was bad in general, though, Joy. When he gets Sean McVay, he goes to the Super Bowl. But what happened in this situation, and the reason I believe that he gets a lack of, I don't know if you call it respect from the pundits that's out there, is because when Sean McVay makes a decision, he's going to call plays from the sideline to help you understand his offense better and get you in and out of the huddle and all that sort of stuff. People automatically go to the notion that Jared Goff is not smart or he doesn't know the offense or doesn't know anything. Although he goes to the Super Bowl and loses the Super Bowl, and then Sean McVay looks up one day and says, you know what? I can't win with this guy. I got to go get Matthew Stafford. But he took him to the Super Bowl. He was part of that. Matthew Stafford hadn't done anything in Detroit, but then he landed in a perfect situation with Sean McVay and gave them just enough to win the Super Bowl. They win it. So that mud is always going to be on Jared Goff until he wins the Super Bowl. That mud it's all hard now. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be hard to take it off until he wins a Super Bowl for most people. But I've always given him respect, man. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League. He's always done the right things. Now, he turns the ball over just like everybody else at times, okay? A lot of guys do goofy stuff where you sit there and go, come on, man. But in the end, I'd take him in a heartbeat. Take him in a heartbeat.
So does Jared Goff deserve more respect? I think he's pretty respected. I mean, I think if Jared Goff was available, every team in the NFL would want him, you know, but like in order, you know what I'm saying? Like, but in order to get the ultimate respect, you got to win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? He's not. So to me, he's still in the same tier as Mayfield, Prescott, Purdy. You know, you can even throw C.J. Stroud in there. They're all in the same group. And what he's done, he's made Detroit respectable. So that alone right there, I mean, how many years have we sat at home on Thanksgiving like, we got to watch Detroit again? Like now,
I don't know if I ever really watched Detroit on Thanksgiving.
Like now, I'm excited to watch Detroit on Thanksgiving. So I think he gets the respect he deserves.
I think he's wildly underappreciated. And I think the mud goes back further to his rookie year because everyone called him a bust.
Yeah, I mean,
and then he went to the Rams and McVay fixed him, so to speak, and then McVay moved off of him. And then he wins a Super Bowl. So it's like, okay, McVay was validated in that.
Yeah.
So I do think there is sort of a path for Jared Goff that lines up with he's not actually that good. But we talk much higher about quarterbacks who have accomplished much less as far as team success in the league.
Joy, they haven't been shipped off after going to a Super Bowl.
Okay, sure. And he was validated in that. But if I'm not mistaken, Jared Goff just took the Detroit Lions to the NFC Championship game, somewhere they haven't been in 30 years. So my man went to the Super Bowl, and then he got traded, and then took a team in Detroit to the NFC Championship game.
But we're not going to give him that credit. Guess who we're giving the credit to?
Who?
Dan Campbell and the kneecaps.
Oh, no.
That's who we're going to get the credit to.
No. And Dan Campbell has done a really good job in Detroit.
That's who's going to get the credit.
Why would he? No. That's fine. If that's the case, that's
That's
why
not
I'm
who I'm
saying.
giving
This
it
is
to,
why I'm
but that's
saying
what-
it's. I don't think that the credit really goes either way. You can't win without a quarterback. We saw that. That's why they went and got Jared Goff. He went to a Super Bowl
Yes,
with one
right,
team,
yeah.
with a coach that is a great coach, a
so-
Super Bowl winning coach, and then he went to another team
Yeah.
who wasn't winning.
So
and
is
took them to the NFC Championship game.
Would you say he's underrated?
I think he's wildly underrated.
No,
we
he's-
talk,
he
we
is.
talk
So
about
Let's
we
look at
talk
this.
about
Look at this. Look what
quarterbacks
he's
who have-
doing just this year. Yeah, he had 18 for 18, but he has 5 CDs and 4 interceptions this year.
He is a winning quarterback.
Yeah, he's a winner. I'll take
We
him.
don't.
I'll take him. But
when
I
we
think
talk about guys like Brock Purdy, what do we? Okay, where do we put Brock Purdy? Where do we rate
They
Brock
all
Purdy?
in
I
the
think a
same
lot of
group.
people would put Brock Purdy above Jared Goff.
See, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either because Jared Goff has had success with different organizations.
2 of them.
One of the things that works against Brock Purdy is that he's doing everything with Shanahan, who we've seen do with multiple quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He played for 3 different head coaches in his pro career so far. Jared Goff has. Brock Purdy's played with.
We talk about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl and an AFC Championship game.
But nobody traded Joe Burrow and went on and won a Super Bowl with Matthew
That's what-
Stafford.
I don't.
That's the
I understand it,
problem.
and
Now
I
you
would,
have
and
the
I would
same
say
exact
that, and I would
team,
say that
and
that
another
Joe
quarterback
Burrow
took him over the
is,
top.
is,
Yeah.
is more talented than Jared Goff. But I can't ignore the success that he has.
Yeah.
No, neither can I.
no,
but
he's-
your
he's-
question is, why doesn't he get the necessary respect? I'm trying to tell you why.
No, I agree. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
I actually think it goes back further
Yeah,
than that.
it may go back further.
I think that it's time we just upgrade the information, like update the system, reboot, unplug the phone, whatever you got to do.
coaches, man, when coaches get
Jared
rid of
Goff should be
players-
be in those conversations, and he should be actually mentioned, I think, above guys who have had the luxury of being with one organization with
understand.
good coaches and better players around or whatever, and haven't had that kind of success.
So this,
But again,
let me ask you this though.
he got
Let me
shipped
ask y'all
out.
this: would you take Jared Goff over Prescott
Yes,
after Prescott just ended? Like he just had second in the MVP last year.
because
12 and 5.
I watched Jared Goff go to the Lions
Yeah.
and take the Lions, who
Okay.
haven't been to the NFC Championship
Right.
game in 30 years, to the NFC Championship game.
Right.
What has Dallas not done in 30 years?
So you'll take him over Mayfield.
See, it's hard for me to
Baker.
do that because
Yes.
it's hard for
Yeah.
me to do that because I don't know what Dak Prescott would look like in Detroit.
Mhm.
But I know what Jared Goff looks like in Detroit, and I know what Dak looks like
Yeah.
in Dallas, and I know what Jared looked like with the Rams. See, he's gone to the NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl,
Right.
Right.
and Dak ain't got out the second round.
Right.
So it's kind of it's hard.
I just think Jared Goff deserves more respect.
No, he does. Absolutely.
Especially from a
Right.
winning
Yeah,
perspective. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.